Hey there, horror fans. This is David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown himself from Terrifier and Terrifier 2, and you're listening to the Horror Squad podcast.
Hello, welcome back to the Horror Squad podcast. This is episode number 258. Tonight we're doing our year-end special 2022 best of our top 10 and our 5 most disappointments, worst movies, things like that. And we're gonna do some awards, best actor, actress, kills, most obscure, things like that. I'm one of your co-hosts, Todd. We have Steve, we have Joe, and it was just Christmas for us yesterday as of recording this. Merry Christmas to you guys, Merry Christmas to everybody else. Happy holidays, New Year's, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, anything you celebrate, happy to you. How are you guys doing?
Hello.
Hi.
Fantastic. I'm excited. It's one of the best episodes of the entire year. And I'm ready to go. I just finished the master list not too long ago. Thank you to everyone that sent listen. And it's going to be interesting. It's an interesting year for sure. So I'm really excited to get to it.
Anything without spoiling it that you're like, what?
No. I would say no, not at all. I'll say that the top 10 on the master list was pretty much like set, like pretty solid. There wasn't like a lot of, some years I would say like it's a really tight race, but I would say the 10 movies that made it were like, there was like no really tight between 10 and 11. Like the top 10 movies were the top 10 movies, like on this master list. Like there was no in between. So do I agree with all of them? Maybe, maybe not. We'll see. We're going to discuss it all. But I think it's a really solid top 10 for our master list. And I'm excited to see what Steve and Todd's top 10s are, even though I already know them. Do I remember them? Absolutely not, because we had almost 30 master lists. So I don't remember everything Todd and Steve picked. So yeah, I'm excited to get through everybody's, and I'm excited to hear everything, awards and everyone's, it's going to be a really fun episode.
Yeah. And I'm always excited about this episode. I mean, it's probably my favorite of the year. The amount of work that we put into this episode, when you think about it, like how many movies we watched throughout the year for this episode. I got to 111 this year, which I actually stopped like purposely on 111. I'm like, I was burnt out by the end. I'm like, fuck that. I want to watch some old bad shit like, Basket Case 2 or something. So yeah, it's great. I love doing this every year and I can't wait. And as far as Christmas, fucking weather sucked here, so I couldn't really go to my family's this year. But it is what it is. That's part of living, in Canada. Hopefully everyone is safe from their weather. I know everyone got crazy weather. Maybe not California. They got fucking hot weather and shit, but everywhere else in the north, it's been crazy snow and ice. And I've been watching videos of people sliding in Seattle. It was just fucking crazy. So hopefully everyone's okay out there and cozy in front of a fireplace and listening to our episode with a nice beer or hot chocolate. So I'm excited. Let's do it.
Let's get it done. I only did 36 2022, so you doing 100 plus, it's like insane.
I wasn't even aiming for 100 plus. So last year I did 106 and I told myself, and I think I said on the episode, I'm not doing that again. Like that was exceptional. It was like an end goal. But this year I didn't really force it. It just kind of happened that way. It's only when I got to like 90 that I'm like, you know what, I could probably hit 100 again. And when I hit 100, I'm like, I could probably beat my record this year. So then I forced it a little bit, but there's just a lot of stuff that came out. Like I still have a list of things that I could watch, but I just had to stop at some point. The amount of releases, it's hard to keep up with horror. It's fucking crazy. Like we have, a non-horror podcast, Let's XP Geek and Gaming podcast, where we're also doing a top 10 of the year. And I could barely think of anything non-horror I watched. And even I can't even think of that much I missed either. So horror is a fucking great genre for new stuff. So yeah, hopefully some people can hear about some movies tonight that they can maybe watch and didn't get to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think I'm clocked in right around, I'm somewhere in the 90s, maybe high 80s, low 90s for 2022 releases. So yeah, we're going to discuss a lot of it. I think me and Steve are in agreement. I think we both think it was a pretty solid year in horror, but I will say going through my list, like, we'll get through it, but I think to me, I think it went down a little bit for me, like when I actually sat down and did my top 10, but I still think it was a very good year in horror. Do I think it was a great year in horror? we're going to discuss it.
But first, we have business to attend to. It's the end of the year, and usually we don't do trivia on the year-end show, but this year we need to because it's so fucking close. So how about we get into that and finally settle the winner of the year and, of course, the winner of the quarter.
All right. Well, mine are all Todd originals, but let's go to the scores first. All right. Tight quarter race. And in quarter four, we have Joe in the lead with 16, myself behind him 15, Steve still in the fucking game at 13. And then overall, year-wise, I'm in the lead, hanging on by 4 points. I'm 68 over Joe 64, Steve at 55. So I think you're eliminated mathematically from the year. But quarter's any man's game still. So let's see what we got. Who would like to shake things up a little bit? Actually, I need to get mine up real quick.
Ooh, I'll do it.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Well, in honor of 2022, as we wrap up this beautiful year, terrible year, who knows? You know, everyone has different years, I guess. So, you know, however way you want to slice it. Let's get into it. All my trivia questions are 2022 horror related.
No.
So, question number 1. According to our good friends at RottenTomatoes.com, what is the, by critics score, highest rated horror movie of 2022, currently sitting at 97% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes?
Nope.
It is not Nope.
All right, that was my initial guess too. But I'm thinking,
so I'll give Todd one more, and then I'll give you guys a little bit of a hint.
I'm thinking they're leaning towards a little bit indie, so I'm going Bones and All.
Incorrect. Good guess though.
Dang it.
So I will say it is an indie release. I do believe Steve has seen it. I'm not sure if Todd has seen it yet, and it's. I want to say it's currently streaming over on Shudder, but I could be wrong about that. But it's very, I would say, very indie.
Throw out the Hatching then, I guess.
I will say it didn't make one list.
It didn't make one list?
Of the 29 master lists, it wasn't on one person's list.
Oh.
But this is on on Rotten Tomatoes, the highest rated horror movie.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna give one more shot. Saloon?
Okay. It is not Saloon.
Is it Mad God?
It is not Mad God.
That's a good guess too, though.
That's pretty indie.
Yeah.
Visually great, but kind of
exactly. Yeah.
All right. So at 97%, critics, I will say it is a 56% users on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay, so I usually go with the users over the critics in this.
Quite a difference. The movie is Hellbender.
Ah, interesting. I didn't like that movie. It was okay.
It was okay. Yeah, I agree. It was okay. Let's go over let's do the top 5 real quick. I'll throw it off to you guys. So according to Rotten Tomatoes, Hellbender at 97% is number 1. Number 2, The Innocents at 96%. Sissy at number 3, also sitting at 96%. Saloon also at 96%, and A Wounded Fawn at 95%. So that is your top 5.
Indies.
All indies, yeah. Follow, and then number 6 is our first major release, and that is X at 94%.
Okay. Well, it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I'll go next. So also all 2022 films, but I made sure you both saw each of these movies.
Oh, Steve's coming out.
Yeah,
Good job, Steve. Thank you.
So at the it's really 36 options apparently.
It's limited. That might work better in my favor since Joe has more polluting his thoughts.
All right. What's the name of the main character in Dash Cam?
No,
Sam.
man.
We said
Sam.
that. No, it's not Sam.
Dang.
No, it's not. It's fuck, really?
It's not. Oh, I got it. If Joe doesn't
Yeah,
get it,
if
don't
Joe
you say a
doesn't.
fucking thing, Steve.
Oh, of course. That's fine.
Now, yeah, it's on the tip of my damn tongue, but no, go ahead.
You sure?
Annie?
Fuck!
Oh,
Why did I
yeah,
ask
that's
you
right.
to sure? Damn it.
That's on you.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's me.
Annie,
Trying to be
Annie
nice.
Hardy
Nice.
See my demon.
playing herself.
Eesh, God.
Yeah.
All right. Mine are not 2022 related, but they are horror related. So there's your
Oh,
hint.
Thank you.
wow.
Oh, wonderful.
I know. In the Dawn of the Dead remake,
Hmm.
what type of character does Ken Foray play?
Preacher or priest or
Correct. Yeah.
reverend or what the fuck he is.
Yeah. Any of those would be accepted.
And
Yes.
very controversial. When we did our review this year, he says some pretty bad
Says some
shit.
interesting.
Very
things,
questionable
to say the least.
stuff.
2004, man.
Yeah, exactly. Different
It's
time.
different.
Yeah. All right, Joe.
Alrighty. Yes. All right. One of my new favorite ones I've been giving you
Oh,
guys
country.
recently. Match the country of origin to the movie.
Ooh.
The Sadness.
Japan.
Incorrect.
Is that Thailand?
Incorrect. I'll give you guys
Fuck.
one more each
Dang
if
it.
you'd like.
South Korea.
Mm-mm.
It's got it right there on the map part of the brain.
Hmm.
It's oh my god. What did I say last?
It's a
I
Thailand.
don't remember.
Oh, is it Thailand? Taiwan.
Taiwan. Taiwan. That is correct.
Oh, nice.
Tyler.
Yay. Great movie, Dad.
Good too.
All
right.
right. Oh no, Steve.
Come on, yeah. In fresh.
Ooh.
And you need it to be very specific. Okay, I will only accept a very specific answer. Which
Oh, my.
fruit did the two main characters bond over?
Cotton candy grapes.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's what I was looking for. Not just grapes, cotton candy grapes.
Which I've never had, but I've had a grapple.
me either, but I'm very curious as to what it tastes like.
Have you guys had a grapple?
No,
It's
No.
an apple grape.
does it really
So it looks
taste
like an apple, but
Oh, it looks like an apple.
well,
Here.
it's apple but fused with the grape. So it looks like an apple but has grape flavor, which is fine, but not worth like $10 or whatever. the fuck it was.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. Very good.
In the original Halloween Part 2. So original Halloween Part 2. Who does Michael get his butcher knife from?
Oh.
The morgue, the mortician. Or...
Incorrect.
I got nothing.
Nothing?
Neighbor. It's
Mm,
it's like the lady in curls. Is that true? Is that,
lady
is that
girl,
accurate?
I don't know. My maybe, but no. My answer is the lady making a sandwich for her husband.
Okay.
He sneaks in, steals it. She comes back and there's blood, and she screams on the cutting board.
All right. Okay. Well,
Lady in
shit.
curls, not accepted.
I thought she was wearing hair curlers. That's why.
Hey,
I
she
thought
might
I
have
missed
been.
it. She might have been, but I don't remember.
I don't know. Judges, Steve. Well,
I
if you
know.
don't remember, then
Yeah.
Is
I
it
know.
back to me?
Nope.
All right.
Yep.
Alrighty. Okay. What movie are Corey and Jeremy watching at the beginning of Halloween Ends?
Night of the Living Dead.
Incorrect.
they're watching The Thing.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yes, they were.
Fuck that movie. Not The Thing. The other movie.
All right. Match the movie to the trivia. All right. So there's 3 trivias. Let's see if you get it.
Okay.
First one. The top of the spirit board has Klaatu Virata Nikto written on top.
That would be Deadstream.
Correct.
Nice work.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Great movie. Okay. Last but not least, in Jaws Part 4, in Jaws the Revenge, how is the shark killed? Come on.
He blows up.
No.
I know. We just reviewed it like this year.
Remember the Jaws went all the way from America
Yeah.
to
Oh,
the
yeah. I remember.
Bahamas or something.
Yeah. He was
Did
on
we,
vacation.
did we review the Revenge?
Didn't we?
Thought we did.
No. We did 2.
No, we did
Okay.
2 a while back, I thought.
No, we did 2 this year.
we do
and
two
we did
this-
and we did 3D. I don't think we've done Revenge.
Okay,
yet.
I think I just
Okay,
did it
that's next.
as a watch, like
Mhm.
while I was in it. I
No?
Because I got nothing. I haven't seen. I don't know even know if
Ah.
I've gotten that far.
Really?
I don't know if I've gotten to the Revenge.
All right. Give up, everybody.
Yes.
I don't remember.
Mrs. Brody rams the boat into it like a spear.
Mm.
Really?
Yeah, there's
I
like a
re-
tip of the boat that's like whatever, and the shark is roaring literally out of the water. 'cause
Oh,
they're
yeah.
flashing
Oh,
with a
yeah.
light bulb or
Right.
something. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
she spears a motherfucker.
That's how you kill the shark in the Jaws NES game.
Ah,
Spoiler alert.
interesting. Well, thanks for damn it, I can't play it.
Yeah, right.
Is
That's
that it?
Yeah.
Well, we need a tiebreaker.
I
Sean
got
and
one.
are at 18 piece.
I prepared for this, just in case there would be one.
All right.
All right. So 4 clues:
Okay.
bicycle accident, old folks home, winged demon, and helicopter.
This is a 2022 movie?
It's not.
Oh, it's not.
It's,
Okay.
No, I wrote this a while ago.
Oh, okay. Wait, all right. Can we
I know what
repeat
it
this?
is. I just can't fucking name the
Bicycle?
title.
Bicycle accident, old folks home, winged demon,
It's
and
fucking
helicopter.
pissing me off, dude.
Is it Prince of Darkness?
Wrong.
No, like this is fucking making me so angry. I have like, it's damn it, dude.
Pee-wee? Pee-wee's Big Adventure?
Damn, if I give you
Old folks home.
the creator of it, it's gonna tip Joe off.
Hmm.
Cause you fucking, I know what you're doing, Steve.
I think you know it too.
I
That's
do.
what-
Oh,
I just can't-
Wait
shut
a
up.
minute.
Shut
Is
the
it
hell up.
Twilight Zone, the
Yes,
movie?
it is.
It is. Yeah.
It is.
Yes.
Fuck, motherfucker, dude.
I tried to pull it off. And you guys,
Nice.
the same,
I did it.
the same 4 segments.
I,
just
I
different
had
words.
I had the Outer Limits in my mind. I had Tales from the Crypt in my mind.
Yeah.
And I had Rod Sterling, and I couldn't fucking name it, dude. Gosh damn.
Yeah.
All right, Joe wins at 19 to my 18 to Steve's 14. He wins a quarter. He can either
Woo!
give me a movie to watch, or no.
Yeah.
Steve gets the movie. You get the movie, or I get the movie.
No,
We both do.
We both do.
Oh, okay. Well, you're still watching
All right.
Packers Graveyard. Fuck.
But you yeah, or you
I
can
will.
cancel it and
Or you can
not,
cancel it,
not
yeah.
give anything to Todd.
3-1. Yeah.
No, I'm gonna watch Pappy's Graveyard for in 2 weeks because Todd won't be in next week,
One.
and then I'll have something for you guys in 2 weeks, I guess. Or you know what? Maybe while we're kind of going through the episode tonight, I'll try to do some research and find a punishment movie for you guys.
However, 4 years in a row, or is it 3 years in a row? I don't know. Every year in a row, your boy Todd has won once again trivia of horror
Boo.
because Steve.
It was
Joe
close
can-
this year,
Can't
though.
handle. It was closer. Let me have this. Okay. Thank you. 71 to 67 to 56. You're welcome. Thank you for playing. I'm like the Tom Brady of this show when it comes to trivia. So thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Does that mean
So-
Steve has to do
Yeah,
something?
I have to shave my beard. And have
Yeah, the-
mustache only.
Yeah, the
Yeah, the Dewey.
Joe had to do blonde tips.
Yeah.
If he lost.
That's right.
Does that was it dead last or did I just?
No,
It's-
it was,
it's-
it
it
was just
everyone.
losing. Yep.
No, it's just like
Okay, so I
It was
gotta
just
tap it.
last?
All right.
I thought it was everyone.
I don't remember. We did it so long ago.
Yeah.
I know.
I
Well,
had
go
to
back
do
to
Dewey's.
the tapes.
Go to episode 2 of this year. I had to do the Dewey mustache if I lost, which
Yeah.
I do on my own anyway. So,
Right.
but yeah, that was fun.
I'll do blonde tips if it's not dead
How are
last.
you gonna, how are you gonna even do it?
Listen
Though?
back. I don't know. Just tie like the front, like my front.
I want Eminem.
Yeah,
whole thing.
That's
You want to go full blonde? Yeah, I could do that.
Do
Whatever.
blonde tips of your beard. You can cut it off really easily.
Yeah, I could.
All right, cool. But also, thank you for anyone that sent us trivia questions. Sometimes it's hard to get these together, so we appreciate it. And I love
Mhm.
trivia personally; it's fun, and we'll see what happens next year. We're still looking for maybe a different game. If anyone has ideas that we can pull off on a podcast, that'd be cool too.
But
So,
one thing I like that we started, I think we started this year, is we're doing all the different kinds of trivia as opposed to just regular questions. Like we're mixing it
Yeah.
up, right? So
Sure.
at least it was more. To me, it was more interesting this year because we're doing completely different games. Like sometimes, so
absolutely.
all right. So what we started with disappointing 5.
Yeah, I think so. I'll start. Coming in at number 5, disappointments. Now, I don't think this movie is bad, and we actually rated it, all 3 of us, pretty high. But after our event in Salem, watching Hocus Pocus with Omni Cats, it put number 2 in a different perspective. So number 5 is Hocus Pocus 2. Is it okay movie? Sure. But gosh, they could have done something different with this one and made it a lot better. Starting with having the original cast back for starters. So Hocus Pocus 2, terrible. No, will I ever watch it again? Not unless I have to.
Very fair. Very fair indeed. All right. I got a mixture here. For mine, it's between worst horror movies I've seen this year and biggest disappointments as well. So I'm going to start off at number 5 with Terror Trips. I was pretty excited for this one based on the plot synopsis about, people who created essentially like a horror location tour that kind of goes awry, and it sounded awesome. Unfortunately, it was super low budget. So that's why I'm not completely ragging on it, but man, they really dropped the ball though with the story. So yeah, that one was just like a massive just disappointment and bad for me.
My number 5 is the movie I probably hate the most and I will never watch again. And it's a little bit of a disappointment just because the director's previous effort, Host, I actually really liked. But this movie, holy fuck, it just got worse and worse. And then as I researched it, it actually got worse, knowing like what went behind it and the story behind it and all that shit. That's, of course, Dash Cam. Probably my least favorite character in film history, or up there at least. I really fucking hate that character. And I just hated this movie to my core. I put it like third worst out of 111 movies. And it's only because there was a couple like cool horror parts at some points. But other than that, I cannot like hate this movie more. So Dash Cam is my number 5.
Well said. Well said. All right. My number 4 is going to be another giant disappointment. Not terrible, because we all liked some aspects of this. Great lighting, cool sets, things like that. And that's The Munsters, Rob Zombie. It's just, man, way too long, way too dumb, and didn't get good until the last, 20 minutes or whatever it was once they were back in America. So I understand why people can like it. And like I think Joe mentioned, it's a great party background movie. But The Munsters, man, that's fucking disappointing.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't great, for sure. But I had fun with it. I really did. Okay. Coming in at number 4 for me is a movie I think only Steve and me have ever probably seen. Like, like in the universe, maybe. And that is Stoker Hills. We watched this because we got the great opportunity to interview Tony Todd. And I put this at number 4 because the movie was fucking terrible. But I put it also because I feel like our interview with Tony Todd was a little disappointing as well. So yeah, that kind of just like throws everything kind of in there for me. Yeah, why Stoker Hills goes number 4 for me.
Tony Todd, who came on our show to promote it, didn't even watch it. So that tells you fucking something about the movie. Oh man, yeah, that's terrible. My number 4 is Scream. I don't think it's like a horrible movie. There are some aspects of it that I like. At least they tried, to make a Scream movie. Like it felt like a Scream movie. So I can't fault it too much compared to other things I'm going to talk about later. But I still think they really dropped the ball, especially with the high expectations we had with Radio Silence, kind of being the team behind it. Did not love the person who died in it. I don't want to spoil it, but I'm sure you know. And I was just really disappointed, and not a good way to start 2022 because that was a really early on movie. So Scream.
Number 3, this is getting to worst categories now, and it's Dash Cam. You have a lead character that you're with her 95% of the time, if not more, and she's insufferable. She's annoying. She's terrible. She's not funny, and it's just garbage. So yeah, same thing Steve said. The Host is great, and then follow up with this one is a huge disappointment. But this movie is just terrible all around. So that's Dash Cam.
Yeah, my number 3 is also Dash Cam. One of my least favorite movies of the year by far. Yeah, and I mimic what you said with Rob Savage. Host was really solid, and I feel like this was just like a massive like step back. Yeah, huge disappointment, and hopefully he rights the ship on the next one because the horror aspects were good in this, but my God, the choices made with Annie being your lead character there, just to me, huge mistake. So yeah, Dash Cam number 3.
My number 3 is a movie I talked about last week, so I won't go too much into it, but this was my most anticipated film of 2022 when we did our show last year. That was The Devil's Light at the time, but eventually got renamed to Pray for the Devil. I talked about why I didn't like it last week, so check out that episode. But basically, I was disappointed, for something that was so highly anticipated for me, and it just didn't deliver on most levels. So Pray for the Devil.
Right on. I saw that pop up on one of my services, so I might give it a go. Number 2 for me, worst territory is the Requin. And Steve, can you translate that for?
Le requin.
There you go. The shark, right? Yeah, the Requin, man, terrible. Alicia Silverstone puts up one of the worst performances of the year, easily. Second only to Annie from Dashcam, because that's her real personality, going back to Dashcam. But anyway, the Requin is terrible. It's like there's scenes and deliveries of lines that are just like have you scratching your head. What were they thinking? The green screen in it is terrible. The sets are completely unbelievable, and it just sucks. The Requin, ugh.
Yeah, I still never watched that. Probably never will. All right, my number 2 is Scream 5. Yeah, it just with Radio Silence coming on board for this, my expectations were really high, especially after, Ready or Not coming off of that, and some of the other stuff they've done in the past, the VHS segment and stuff. I mean, everything they touched was pretty much gold. And to me, they absolutely dropped the ball with Scream. By far, I think the worst in the franchise for me. And it was just very frustrating. I thought, at least like make it a fan. They tried to make it, I guess, too much fan service, but then you slap the fans in the face by killing off. And I'll just say the spoiler because it's been out long enough. By killing Dewey, I thought, it's okay to kill that character, but the way he went out was just so fucking lame. And just Nev Campbell was so underutilized in the movie. And yeah, it's just so disappointing. It really knocks down my expectations for part 6. The fact they're going to Manhattan in this one, maybe, makes things a little more interesting. We shall see. But yeah, Scream 5, huge disappointment.
My number 2 is Hocus Pocus 2. I mean, it's not a bad movie. It's not like a horrible movie, at least. But for such a classic that we all like love, and I have a fucking room like themed to that, to the first one in my house. We did a Hocus Pocus event. To have such an anticipated movie be kind of bad, and Todd's right. It's not until I rewatched it with Omri that I was like, damn, this is good. Like, this is, Hocus Pocus 2 should have had this energy and these characters and all that stuff. So I was just really disappointed. It does have some good parts. I don't think it's one of the worst films of the year, but definitely a huge disappointment for me. So yeah.
All right, my number 1 is a double disappointment and terrible, and that is Halloween Ends. Like Joe was just mentioning about Scream 5 slapping the lovers of Halloween in the face, this one fucking beats your ass, fucking steps on your neck when you're down, fucking kicks you in the butt, everything, man. Michael Myers is in it for a bit. He gets punked by Corey, literally his mask ripped off his face. This is Michael Myers we're talking about. We've been talking about for 20 plus years. Let's give him some, like 20 plus years, more than that, sorry. But it's like, at least commit to it, at least change the story, and start it off in 2018 and build the building blocks for number 3. But no, you start number 3 with a new movie, a new universe, a new plot twist. Did not work. Terrible movie, disappointing movie. Just all around bad.
Excellent choice, Todd. Excellent choice, because my number 1 is also Halloween Ends. Yeah, I mean, you said it all perfectly, but my God, what just a shit fucking movie. Like, on so many levels, but just, oh man, like David Gordon Green, who I watched today, I watched Bones and All today to get ready for the movie, and he makes like this really random cameo in the movie, like out of fucking nowhere. And it just made me sick seeing him on camera, because I'm like, fuck that guy. He fucking ruined the Halloween franchise with his shitty ass trilogy. He's going to ruin The Exorcist next year. I already know it, but fuck that guy and fuck that movie.
Well said, Joe. And do I even really need to say it? I think it had to be unanimous this year. Halloween Ends, man, just not good. And we're all such big Halloween fans that seeing this was just such a kick in the fucking nuts. And I just did not like it on almost any level. I mean, we listened to our episode about it. We, go into the million reasons why, and there are so many reasons why we didn't like this. But yeah, Halloween Ends was an easy choice for my most disappointing, and seems to be the case for all of us. So there you go. How about we go to some honorable mentions?
Oh, go for
it. Did you have something, Todd? Or
no, I was gonna say it's rare that I don't think we've ever been worst of the year unanimous.
Right. Well,
but no.
Congratulations, David.
Good job, buddy. Oh gosh.
We're all actually pretty close to movies.
I was like, well, yeah, we were. Yeah, everyone was pretty similar. I was gonna say, why do I feel like next year The Exorcist is probably gonna be all of our maybe most disappointing number one?
If it actually releases, not
Yeah,
convinced.
right.
So, all right, honorable
All right.
mentions.
Yeah, let's go. Let me see. I'll start us off. Why not? Honorable mentions, ladies and gentlemen. Are we dropping this all three
Just
in
drop
a
all
row?
three. Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So my three honorable mentions before we get into our singular top tens. First honorable mention goes to Prey. This brought, the Predator franchise back, I think, for sure. Very excited to see what happens with this franchise in the future. But just a really great take. I loved, the feral predator in this, and I loved the, the whole like Native American thing. I thought it really did breathe fresh air back into that franchise. So Prey is my first honorable mention. My next one is The Black Phone. Yeah, like really, really solid movie. Great adaptation. Ethan Hawke really was just creepy as hell as the grabber. The masks in that were awesome. So The Black Phone, number two. And then my first honorable mention, and I'm glad I watched it because I just watched it today to get ready for the end of 2022, and that is Bones and All. Great movie. Just a great, great movie all around. It's a slow burn, but man, like I really never found myself bored. Like I was always really interested to see like what was going to happen with these characters. Great lead performances by Timothy Chalamet, and I cannot remember the lead actress name, but she played Abra in Doctor Sleep. But the two of them were fantastic together. There's also some really cool, gore moments in this. I mean, it's definitely lighter, I guess, horror side, but I call it a love story for horror fans. And so if that's something that sounds interesting to you, I would definitely check it out.
All right, so my three are for three different reasons that I'm putting them on my honorable mentions. They're not necessarily like 11, 12, 13 on my list, just things I wanted to shout out. My first one, like score-wise, is either number one or two of the year, but it's 45 minutes long, so I could not consider it for my list, in my opinion, and that's Werewolf by Night. It's a Marvel special presentation that they did for Halloween. It's a nod to the Universal Monsters. It uses a couple Marvel characters, and it was fucking fantastic. I loved everything about it, from the score to the way it was shot, the story, the practical effects that they used, which they used a lot of practical effects. I really, really loved this special, and I urge everyone to check it out. But unfortunately, because of its length, I didn't think it was like truly like a feature that like the other one, so that's why I'm only putting it as an honorable mention. My second one was my number 11, so I did want to shout it out, and that's Sissy, which you can find over on Shudder. Very interesting story about a social media influencer who kind of gets in over her head, and there are some really brutal fucking kills in this movie. And it's an interesting story from a perspective that I don't know too much about, and I really enjoyed that. They have good like conversations in it that really make you think about social media and its effect on people and everything like that. So it's truly a great movie, and it came really, really close to making my list. And finally, this one's only probably like 20th on my list, but it really made an impact on me. It's one I think about a lot, so I'm giving it major props for that, and that's Speak No Evil. This movie is it's uncomfortable, the movie. Like, that's how I feel about it. You are so fucking uncomfortable watching this movie, but it's so good on so many levels. And it maybe on a different day it would have been higher on my list, but I did at least want to shout it out because I did really like it. And if you want to watch something truly uncomfortable and just want to feel something other than like fear or whatever horror makes you feel, this is a good one. So Speak No Evil is my last honorable mention.
All right, coming in at 13 for me is Smile. This movie just hit right when I watched it, watching with my 13-year-old, and this movie at her age is awesome. She loved it, and it was really fun watching it with her. Do I have issues with it? Sure, and you can listen to our episode regarding that movie. Well, that's Smile. Number 12 is Mr. Harrigan's Phone, which is an adaptation by Stephen King. Honestly, it's really highly ranked for me, but it didn't have enough horror in it to really stick in this top 10. Really cool character study. I really like the relationship between the young boy and the older man, and what goes on with that. It just need a little bit more horror. And finally, number 11 is gonna be a surprise. Is Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I absolutely hated the characters, but when I look back on some of the like quality moments this year and kills, like TCM pops out. You got the backwards knee break You got the shit pipe, that's hilarious, and you got the bus rampage, right? So it was really cool seeing Leatherface back in action, even if it like doesn't make any sense why he went back to an orphanage and all that crap. But all those issues aside, I thought it was a really fun movie when it was doing Texas Chainsaw Massacre and not something else. So that's why it's at number 11. Top 10.
Top 10. All right, let's do it, ladies and gentlemen. I will start us off. For me, coming in at number 10 is going to be Terrifier 2. Art the Clown is back, ladies and gentlemen, and he was better than ever in this one. You know, it really solidified Art as a icon, maybe, in horror for sure. I think an icon amongst horror fans, maybe not, you know, amongst that Mount Rushmore that, you know, once you get into, I guess, more normie territory. But I think, you know, definitely Art is definitely is paving the way. He's bringing the slasher genre back, and Terrifier 2 was just, it really was did everything better than that first movie. The reason it is not higher for me is I just felt like the last maybe 20, 30 minutes, started to get a little silly. And that's kind of what knocks it down for me, but still a great movie. And I'm excited for Terrifier 3.
All right. So my number 10 is The Cursed. So The Cursed is a really interesting take on the werewolf genre that I didn't see coming. There are some crazy fucking scenes in this that really stood out in my mind. Some pretty good gore. There's a whole like scene at the end where there's a lot of fucking kills, and I really liked it. I did not see this movie coming at all. This had some scary moments, and if you're into like werewolf films, especially because there haven't been a ton of great ones in recent years, but this one really stood out and it's got good gore. So yeah, I was down with it. So that's The Cursed at number 10.
All right, coming in at number 10 is The Black Phone. It was a solid theater release horror movie, you know? I think we all had a couple issues with it here and there. Stuff could have been fleshed out, but you know, when I think back on it, Ethan Hawke is a great villain. He's very imposing. The situation that the lead character in is harrowing and gross and fucking awful and all that stuff. And when you have kid actors, that's a big red flag sometimes, but he pulled it off the entire movie. So The Black Phone in at number 10.
Very nice. All right, coming in at number 9 for me is a movie I literally just saw a few days ago. Wanted to get this in before the end of the year, and I'm really glad I did, because at number 9 is The Menu. What a really interesting movie. Very captivating, excellent performances throughout. Anya Taylor-Joy, and for me, who steals the show is Ralph Fiennes, just as the chef. I mean, this is like the most fucked up episode of Hell's Kitchen you could like ever watch. It goes places you're not expecting, and definitely the less you know going in, for the better. I watched like one trailer, but they did a very good job of kind of masking like what the movie ends up becoming. So yeah, it's really good. And I really hope, I don't think a lot of people have seen it yet, and I hope more people do go out and see it, because it's really cool and it's a really fun watch. Maybe something for us to review once it hits kind of like a VOD type scenario when we have nothing to do, because it'd make for a really good discussion as well. So number 9, The Menu.
I'm really sad I missed that one. That's the only film I regret not having seen for this list. So I'll definitely watch it when it comes out. But my number 9 is Valley of the Dead. So this is a story that takes place during the Spanish Civil War, which is right before World War II. And you have two guys who are sent in the battlefield to deliver a message to kind of another place. And on their way, they meet other soldiers who are fighting. So you have Russians and Nazis and Americans and Italians and Spanish people, and they're all fighting each other and shit's going crazy. But all of a sudden, they turn out to be in a zombie apocalypse. So they have to kind of have an uneasy alliance with each other, because they have to fight the zombies together while also kind of protecting their own self-interest, while the Spanish guy is also trying to get to that place so he can get his thing delivered. It's a really interesting film. There's some good gore, some cool action sequences, some great characters. I really, really love this film. It's one I never hear people talk about, so I will be the one who will try to spread the word on this one. It's on Netflix, and that is Valley of the Dead at number 9.
Yeah, still need to watch a ton of these, obviously. Number 9 is one I just watched over on Shudder. It's Hatching, based on both of your guys' recommendation. And I don't think I'll ever watch this one again. It's like a one and done for me, but it was so different and took some risks and went fucking weird with it that it made my list. And the less you know, the better. But quick synopsis is girl finds an egg. She takes that egg into her house and cares for it. And then things start growing from there. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Hatching, number 9.
For me, number 8 is going to be The Sadness. Yeah, I mean, man, I feel like it's been so long since I've seen it at this point. Like, I feel like it's one of the first movies we watched in 2022, and man, it still sticks out in my brain as definitely being one of the most shocking movies I watched this year for sure. The practical effects were absolute A+ in this. Some of the most memorable scenes of the year as well, especially the fucking coffee shop scene where the guy gets scalped. I mean, just fucking amazing. Like I said, I mean, probably one of the most depraved movies that I've seen in mainstream wise in a very long time. Is this dropped, I believe, on Shudder, if I'm correct. So, I mean, a lot of people saw it. I remember the buzz at the time, and I mean, it was worth it. I mean, it was crazy. It was just a fucking crazy movie, and yeah, just a lot of fun. And yeah, number 8, The Sadness.
My number 8 is a movie I know you guys didn't love, but I did, and it's a movie we reviewed also very early in the year, and that is The Exorcism of God. I just loved how fucking crazy this movie was. It went to places that I never would have expected. They had a fucking demon Jesus. It was crazy, and there were a lot of really like good scary scenes. I mean, the acting was spotty, sure, and there was like a couple holes in the plot, but I really enjoyed watching it. I watched it twice because I watched it for the review and I watched it for an interview that we did. We did 2 interviews actually for that movie, and I just really enjoyed it. This was easily my favorite exorcism film of the year, and I've seen a few of them. And yeah, I think it's a fun watch. And again, one that I don't hear people talking about. I don't even know where you could watch it, to be honest. We got it as a screener. I don't think I've ever seen it released on anything other than maybe VOD, I guess. So if you can find it, I suggest watching it. And that's The Exorcism of God at number 8.
All right, my number 8 is going to be Mr. Art the Clown's Terrifier 2. Man, it's fucking wild, man. They, like Joe said, they take what worked in part 1 and just amplify it, take it up to another couple notches. Super ultra bloody, and it's really cool too that it got so much buzz in the theater and made some fucking good money for such a small release. So I'm excited to see where it goes. I hope that they kind of cut some bullshit and make it more straight in the realm of realistic-ism, whatever. Like some of the dream sequences were lame. The ending part with the birth of the baby head art thingy was fucking weird. But Terrifier 2, man, this is a movie like, all right, you like horror movies, kid? You've been watching Jason and this. Let's see how you do with this movie. So Terrifier 2, number 8.
Coming in at number 7 for me is going to be Hatching. This movie is like really bizarre, but just like it just was captivating at the same time. The creature effects in this was absolute just A+. I fucking loved it. Just like, and the puppeteering work like on this thing is insane. It's probably like one of my favorite creature designs in years. I fucking absolutely loved it. And it just goes to places you're not expecting. So yeah, Hatching, number 7.
My number 7 is a movie we talked about before. I don't remember what context. Oh yeah, in the trivia, and that's Deadstream, which I saw over on Shudder. This is just a fucking crazy movie. It is like watching one of those like overzealous YouTubers doing a live stream and weird shit starts happening. But as I was watching it, the fucking movie just goes into crazier and crazier and crazier places that you just don't expect. At first you think it's just going to be kind of a haunted house thing, and then there's gonna be a little bit of ghosts, and that happens, and then it gets into demons, and then it gets into fucking just crazy shit, and you're like, what the fuck is going on? It was very much like a live stream, like Evil Dead. It was amazing. I really like this movie. I did not see it coming. I was entertained throughout the whole thing and could not recommend this one enough. So that's Deadstream at number 7.
Very nice. And just real quick on the Hatching, worst mom of the year award for that lady. Very weird. All right, number 7 for me is Jordan Peele's Nope. Fucking super great performances all around. Really interesting concept. The reason it's not higher for me is because I wasn't crazy about the ending. Once the TMZ guy showed up, it kind of lost a little traction there. Plus, I didn't like the jean jacket his final form. It kind of looked like a big paper bag or a plastic bag. But overall, man, like for originality and a major release, freaking legit. So that's Nope and number 7.
Alrighty. At number 6 for me is going to be one of Steve's honorable mentions, and that is Speak No Evil. Man, this movie takes you on a absolute ride, and it is bleak as all hell. And holy shit, like by the end of it, like my jaw was on the floor. It's probably one of my biggest surprises of 2022. It just kind of came out of nowhere. Steve recommended it. I watched it, and this movie blew me away. It really did. Like it, I mean, it's definitely not a movie that's going to make you feel good when you get to the end of it, but I mean, this is the type of horror movie like you just want to watch something that's gonna not make you feel good, but I mean, it is horror. It's horror through and through for sure. Not the type of horror maybe you think of. Like, there's no blood, there's no gore really in this movie. It's just pure fucking bleakness. But I mean, I loved it. So, Speak No Evil, number 6.
Well, if you're going to steal one of my honorable mentions, I'm going to steal one of yours. So my number 6 is Prey. You know, like Disney comes in, buys Fox, and makes a Predator movie. My expectations were pretty low going in. I really just watched it because it happened to be on Disney Plus. It came out during kind of a slow time during the year, and I was blown away. I absolutely loved what they did with this franchise. You know, they took the Predator, like, you know, essence, but dropped it somewhere else to give it a completely new story. You know, they didn't do like all the other ones we watch, Halloween, Scream, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre and all of those. They really just took the essence of it and put it somewhere else, and that was in the past with indigenous people. And there were some great performances in this. It was beautiful to look at. It was also super violent and crazy, and I was blown away by this, to be honest. I really fucking like this movie. So Prey at number 6.
Alrighty, number 6 for me is Deadstream. I really like the acting in this. I like the lead character. It's someone that I probably wouldn't like, and it's like, oh, if it went gone a different direction, I probably would have turned it off because he's like obnoxious, annoying, trying to get likes and things like that. But the horror is really excellent. The house is great. The creatures are awesome, and then I like his performance overall too. He does a lot of like these random, for lack of a better term, girlish screams that just come out of nowhere, and the comedy just lands. And then it just keeps escalating. It doesn't stay stagnant, and it just keeps going further and further until it ends. And I highly recommend it. This is one of the filmmakers that I'm definitely looking forward to for some more stuff from his career. So Deadstream 6.
Yeah, and his VHS 99 segment was awesome. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah. All right, coming in number 5, folks. Top 5 of the year. Let's do it. Coming in at number 5 for me is going to be Pearl. This was the follow-up to Ty West X, and to me, it was just a great movie. Yeah, I mean, Mia Goth really carries this entire movie, as she's pretty much in every single scene. Yeah, I mean, I really loved seeing the backstory to Pearl. I think it really elevates X in a lot of ways as well, knowing kind of the motivation behind that character. But yeah, I mean, I loved the aesthetic of the movie. Mia Goth's, of course, 10-minute sort of fucking like dialogue thing at the end was great. The dance scene. I mean, there's just a lot of memorable scenes in this. So yeah, number 5 for me, Pearl.
My number 5 is one both of you have already mentioned, and that is Terrifier 2. I was just so into this. Art the Clown is fucking insane in this movie. Damien Leone's makeup effects are just on another level. Like the gore that he exhibits in this movie are just crazy, and I really, really enjoy that. It had one of the most memorable scenes of the year easily in the bedroom. And I really like Lauren Lavera as a new like final girl. She was fantastic in this, and I thought it was a great film. It's really too bad that the last 30 minutes kind of lost me, because that first hour would have been an easy number 1 for me, but then it got really weird and kind of boring a little bit. So for me, it went down a little bit, but still a top 5 movie for me this year, and that's Terrifier 2.
All right, number 5 for me is Fresh. Sebastian Stan, Daisy Edgar Jones give really strong performances, and it was pleasant too. It was like nothing groundbreaking, nothing over the top. It was just a movie that did what it wanted to do correctly. He suckers in a girl. They, quote unquote, are having a great fucking little romantic relationship, and then he just turns on her, and it turns out he's a fucking cannibal. That's fucking cool. And the ending's good too. Like the fucking girls have their break out and fucking beat his ass. That's always a plus. And I just liked it, man. It was at number one for a long part of the year until some other things came out, but I think it's a strong film. So Fresh over on Hulu, number 5.
Alrighty, coming in at number 4, a movie I think that went under all of our radars, and to me, probably the most surprising major release of the year, and that is Barbarian. Just holy shit, like this movie really, to me, just I think it came out of nowhere, and then we started seeing a lot of buzz about it, and we decided we all got to go see it, and we ended up, I think, all loving it. And just, I mean, this movie goes places no one, I don't think, is expecting. It's like 3 movies in one, sort of. It's really crazy and great. I mean, man, Bill Skarsgård gives a great performance in this. Justin Long gives a hilarious performance in this. Our lead actress in here was fantastic as well. And then you got fucking mama, fucking, crazy ass barbarian lady just going fucking ape shit on everyone. I mean, it is a fucking batshit crazy movie, but I loved that this got a theater release. And yeah, fantastic. Barbarian, number 4.
My number 4 is Nope. I mean, Jordan Peele is just so fucking good at making movies. And I can't wait to see what he does next. He's always does something really different and very powerful and with a lot of meaning, and just it's amazing like what this movie is represents. And there's so many things like nuances that I heard about after watching it, and I had a lot of really great discussions with people about it, and there's just so many layers to this movie that's absolutely crazy. It's probably one of the ones I'm most looking forward to watching again from everything on my 2022 list, because now that I've kind of had all those conversations and everything. The only reason I didn't rewatch it is I thought I'm going to keep everything at like their original thought instead of starting to rewatch stuff, because it's always unfair when you watch it a second time compared, I'm not watching all the other ones a second time. So I decided not to, but it's still, at number 4, obviously I really loved it. But like Todd, the end lost me a little bit. There are some plot holes that I still think are kind of, so, but overall, fantastic movie. And that's Nope.
All right, my number 4 is Joe's number 4, and that's Barbarian. Georgina Campbell plays Tess. She's great. Bill Skarsgård, Justin Long, both solid. And what I liked about it too, it's just fucking like a surprise, 100% a surprise. And that goes from the movie's conception to its release, us not knowing about it, to the actual scenes in the movie. Like there's a scene in the cellar where Skarsgård gets his, and it just comes out of complete left field. Like you think he's the lead character, and like, nope, we fucked you over. And then it switches like 100% tonal change to Justin Long. Oh, everyone loves Justin Long. Cool, he's in it. Oh, wait, he's a rapist? Like, fuck, And then it shifts gears again, where this homeless man, he's a scary character. Nope, he's trying to save you. It's like it keeps switching gears and it keeps changing things up to keep it fresh. And Mama, dude, Mama's legit. Like, gosh, the breastfeeding stuff is disgusting. It's gross. It's terrifying. I just wish they would have went deeper with that one character that's a serial killer in the basement. That's the only missed opportunity in this film. But still solid at number 4, Barbarian.
All right, so let's get into it. Top 3 of the year, ladies and gentlemen. And for me, coming in at number 3 is going to be Ti West X. I mean, this movie was just a pleasant surprise. This is basically like a complete homage in a lot of ways to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This like brought back just like that grimy grindhouse style horror from the 70s to damn near perfection in a lot of ways. Fantastic performances throughout. Mia Goth once again great in this. You got Jenna Ortega in here. God, is it Kid Cudi, I believe, as well. Just everybody in this, just a great ensemble cast, and just fucking like batshit crazy as well. A lot of great kills, good gore. You never expect fucking 2 horny old people just to go fucking batshit crazy on people, and it fucking worked. So yeah, number 3 is X.
And so my number 3, X is gonna give it to you. So also Ti West's X. I just really love this movie. It's so good. It really captured that grimy 70s feel, like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I love the whole kind of porno side story. It was interesting. It was funny at times. There are also some great moments like within the movie, like Jenna Ortega, kind of just being there. I think she was the sound girl, but wanting to be part of it because she's new and she wanted to feel like comfortable in the group. And I forget what his name is, but the lead guy, like the guy who's kind of running the porno, he was so fucking funny, man. Like he has a whole scene in his tidy whities, but he somehow makes it where he looks like cool even in his tidy whities, and just like his attitude was awesome. And Mia Goth, one of the best performances this year. Not my top performance, which we'll get into the awards, but definitely an honorable mention there. And some great kills. There's some fucking legit kills in this movie that came out of nowhere. The fucking kill in front of the van with all the blood where she's dancing and shit like that was super memorable, and the stuff in the basement, and yeah, there's some great scenes in this, and it's fantastic. I really, really enjoy this movie. So X at number 3.
All right, my number 3 is Prey, not X, sorry. And I loved it. It was one of those surprises too, where I'm like, all right, it's probably gonna be lame, but man, it blew me away. Predator fighting a bear is freaking cool. The evil Frenchmen that get theirs is freaking cool. Dakota Beavers, Amber Midthunder, such great performances. Dakota, man, it's his freaking first acting role. Are you kidding me? Awesome. And the way he goes out is such a G too, man. He's like, this is where it ends for me, whatever he says. Fucking awesome. Prey, give us more Predator like this, small scale, different locations, different kinds of people. I see a lot of people saying they want to see it versus Samurai or something like that. Bring it on, dude. We don't need to have a bunch of soldiers fighting Predator every time. Let's just do it. So Prey in at number 3.
Alrighty. My number 2 of the year is going to be a movie I had no idea anything about, and I just saw it, that it was available, and I decided to just throw it on blindly. And I fucking absolutely love this movie. And that movie is You Won't Be Alone. It is unique. It's bizarre, disturbing at times, cold, but also beautiful as well. It's just a masterclass to me in filmmaking as well. Great cinematography, wonderful acting. It has a witch in it, which already just elevates the movie for me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just quite a movie, and I think more people should see it, and that is why I put it so high as well. So You Won't Be Alone, number 2.
My number 2 is The Sadness, one of the first horror movies we watched this year, and even now, 10 or 11 months after, it still has an impact on me. It is fucking gory as hell. There's blood everywhere. It does things that you're like, wow, they got away with that, huh? Or, oh, they're really going there. And I had such a like a evil smile, throughout the whole thing. Like, it's almost bad to say that I smiled throughout this whole movie, but I did, because it's so fucking deprived and crazy and bloody and fun. It did have some plot holes and some weird moments where the movie would kind of stop and go into these weird segments, like watching like North Korea or whatever on the TV or some weird shit in the movie. But I still really, really enjoyed this movie, and it was on the top of my list for a long, long time. But when I watched it, I thought, okay, this probably be like a top 5. I don't know if it'll be a top 1, but it stayed there all throughout the year. So good on it. I really enjoyed it. Definitely worth checking out. So that's The Sadness at number 2.
All right, my number 2 is Vin Diesel's Triple X. Solid. And I was kidding. Man, imagine that movie. Remember that fucking movie? How terrible it was. But no, my number 2 is X, man. For all the reasons you guys already said, it's just good. The setting is good. Closest to the feeling of the TCM guy's character's good. Girl's character's good. The gator fucking scene where it's swimming up on her and you're like, oh, it's gonna eat her. No, damn it. But we know it's coming back. Good. Mia Goth's double performance, awesome. Gosh, man, like nothing wrong with this movie. Like it was just fucking out there, dude, and it was great. So I'm leaving it X and at number 2.
All righty, let's do it, folks. Number 1s. And my number 1 of the year, I went back and forth, honestly. I had no idea. I was between You Won't Be Alone and my number 1 movie, which is Jordan Peele's Nope. I decided to put Nope at number 1 because of the IMAX experience I had in watching this movie. It was literally one of the best theater experiences I've had ever. Like the full IMAX that this movie put out, which was for, at least 50% of the movie was just mind blowing. And, Jordan Peele the movie was all about spectacle, and seeing it in IMAX was absolutely a spectacle. The Gordy scenes will go down as one of the most memorable scenes of the entire year for me. And it was unique. It was a very unique movie in a lot of ways. The fact that, spoilers, the fact that the, thing in the sky that you think is a UFO is really an alien was fucking really cool. Like, and not something, anyone has really ever done before, honestly, with aliens. So I thought that was fucking great. Amazing performances throughout from everyone. Great ensemble cast, great score, great cinematography. So yeah, Jordan Peele's Nope, number one for me.
You also would have been kicked out of your apartment had you not picked it number one. So, all right. So my number one, this came to as a surprise to even me, because I did not expect this movie to be a number one film for me, but it just fucking stayed with me since I watched it, and that's Hatching. Fuck, this movie is good in so many ways. The relationship between the very bad mother and the daughter is great. The way that she treats her husband and son differently, the inner workings of that family is just so fucking fascinating to me, just in a really crazy way. She's got the like dance mom, kind of thing, except she's a gymnast. And it's just nice to see. You also get that social media aspect of, the perfect family on social media that you always see, but the truth behind that is definitely darker than it seems. And then you got that fantastic creature throughout. Like, think The Fly, but in reverse. Like, it starts off like full Fly, and then it slowly morphs into Jeff Goldblum. Well, kind of like that, but the creature morphs into something else. It just stayed with me. The performances in this, the scenes in this, the dialogue, the gore, the moments that would happen. I really did not see this movie coming, and I fucking just loved it. So that's Hatching. That as my number one this year.
All right, my number one is The Sadness. It's just wild, man. It is wild. This movie kicks off and it never stops, right? I mean, you have a scene where they're torturing a dude on a basketball court, right? And then he rescues them. He's like, "Why'd you stop him?" He's into it. I'm like, what the? There's a scene where this creeper dude on a train is constantly chasing after the main person. And then at one point he, rapes a character via her eye. You know what I mean? It's just like, gosh, what are they doing? And it's violent. It's fast paced. It's got great acting, and that villain, that lead zombie, whatever you want to call him, is like freaking phenomenal. So that's Sadness at number one for me.
All righty. Well, is this like the first? Did we all have different number ones last year as well? I can't remember. Or did we have?
What was me and Steve had Ghostbusters last year.
Yeah. So.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And you didn't think it was a horror movie.
Right.
Stand by it. All right, let's do it, folks. The 2022 Master List. Yeah, so let's do it. 2022 Master List, 29 total lists, our biggest ever. Our 80s list, we had 28, so we bested it by one. In comparison to our 2021 Master List, 16. So almost double from last year's Master List. 65 different movies received a vote. In comparison from last year, 58 different movies received a vote. But when you really think about it, 16 lists last year, 58 different movies, 29 lists this year, well, 65. So a lot less when you really think about it. And then 15 different movies this year received a first place vote. So that means, ladies and gentlemen, more than half of the lists had a different first place movie on it. So pretty damn interesting right there. In comparison from last year, 7 different movies of the 16 lists received a first place vote. So let's get into it with our honorable mentions. We're doing 5. So here it is. Coming in at number 15 is Bodies, Bodies, Bodies. Bodies, Bodies, Bodies was on 4 of the 29 lists and peaked with 2 third place votes. Coming in at number 14 is Sissy. Sissy received 58 points, was on 4 of the 29 lists, and peaked with a first place vote. Coming in at number 13, The Menu. The Menu received 62 points, was on 5 of the 29 lists, and also received a first place vote. Coming in at number 12 is Smile. Smile received 102 points, was on 9 of the 29 lists, and also peaked with 1 first place vote. And our last honorable mention, number 11, Deadstream. Deadstream received 108 points, was on 11 of the 29 lists, and peaked with a second place vote. So there it is, your honorable mentions. I should also mention, for those of you maybe listening for the first time, the way the point system works is a first place vote receives 20 points, all the way down to 2 points for a 10th place vote. So, what do you guys think? What do you guys think of those honorable mentions? Any surprises there for you?
I'm surprised that Deadstream is so low. I thought it would crack the top 10 for sure, but other than that, no.
It's a pretty indie movie, though. Like, it's not a mainstream one, right? So I don't know if a lot of people have actually seen it. But other than that, no, it's not a very surprising list. I mean, maybe The Menu would be higher if people saw it, but it came out pretty late in the year. Smile is also kind of late in the year, so that's also a possibility. So no big surprises, I'd say, in that.
All right. Bodies surprised me a little bit. I didn't expect it. I mean, I know it got some buzz, but I was not expecting it, I guess, to make the list.
Actually, speaking of which, just quickly, Pete Davidson was wearing a Art to Clown shirt yesterday.
Big Art to Clown
on social
fan.
media. Yeah, crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big Terrifier fan. I follow one of the producers, and like they met up with him and gave him like a production coat and stuff like that. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, so let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Our top 10 horror movies of the year based on you guys. Obviously, thank you, everyone. This is, of course, the master list, of course, from our listeners, fellow podcasters, and other people. Some of our notables, thank you, Alex from Bloody Disgusting. Thank you to our friends from That Strange Show, Retro Redoctopus, also podcast, and of course, everyone over on our Discord. So a lot of great people involved in this list. All right, coming in at number 10 is going to be The Sadness. The Sadness received 126 points, was on 10 of the 29 lists, and peaked with Todd's first place vote.
Stand by it.
All right. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Hatching. Hatching received 134 points, was on 11 of the 29 lists, and peaked with 2 first place votes, Steve being one of them. All right, coming in at number 8 is going to be Pearl. Pearl received 142 points, was on 11 of the 29 lists, and peaked with a first place vote. Coming in at number 7 is going to be Fresh. Fresh received 146 points, was on 13 of the 29 lists, and peaked with a second place vote. Coming in at number 6, The Black Phone. The Black Phone received 172 points, was on nearly half, 15 of the 29 lists, and peaked with a first place vote. So there we go. What do you guys think so far before we get into our top 5?
I see it. Solid.
All right.
Yep.
All right, let's do it then. Our top 5 horror movies of 2022. Coming in at number 5 is Prey. Prey received 174 points, was on 15 of the 29 lists, and peaked with 2 second place votes. Coming in at number 4, Jordan Peele's Nope. Jordan Peele's Nope received 192 points, was on 18 of the 29 lists, and peaked with 3 first place votes. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our top 3 horror movies of 2022 coming in at, and I'll say top 3, really runaways compared to the rest here. Absolutely. All right, coming in at number 3 was Barbarian. Barbarian received 242 points, almost 50 points more than our number 4 movie, Nope. Was on 19 of the 29 lists and received 5 first place votes. Coming in at number 2 Terrifier 2. Terrifier 2 received 254 points, was on 20 of the 29 lists, and received 2 first place votes, which leaves us with the number one movie, an absolute runaway, ladies and gentlemen, for number one, and that is Ti West's X. Ti West's X received 322 points. The only movie to break 300 points, was on 22 of the 29 lists, and peaked with the most first place votes with 7 first place votes. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Your top 10 of 2022. I don't think really any surprises there, but what do you guys think?
Yeah, no real surprises. I mean, we all had X in our top 3, so definitely well deserving. Yeah, I think it's a solid list this year, but not too surprised. Mostly the more mainstream ones, I guess you could say. So yeah, it's good.
I guess the only surprise is I thought Nope would be a top 1 or 2 on that one because everyone seemed to really enjoy it. Yeah, but other than that, I mean, it's fucking solid, right? The only one I guess on the whole top 10 that I didn't like was Pearl, to be honest.
Yeah, no real surprises. I think honestly, congratulations to Art the Clown. Like Terrifier 2 being number 2, I think is my biggest surprise. I did not expect it to get that high, but it was actually very close between Barbarian, obviously, and Terrifier 2. Literally just a matter of a few points separated those two movies. It could have went, honestly, one way or the other. But yeah, I mean, Barbarian received the second most first place votes. Just, more people had Terrifier 2 on their list, which knocked it up. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I guess Hatching being in the top 10, I think is a bit of a surprise just because it is an indie movie. It's also a foreign movie. But yeah, what do we have? Two foreign movies making the top 10 this year.
Hatching,
so that's awesome. So yeah, good stuff. Thank you so much, everybody. Our biggest master list yet. And I think it really was solid and shows, I think those probably are the 10 of the best movies of the year for sure. So thank you so much, everyone, for sending those lists in. And shout out to all of you. And be ready. 70s, I think, will be our next one.
I'm already starting.
So get those top 10 lists ready for the 70s. That will be coming in about, 5 or 6 months?
Yeah, in the summer, like usually July-ish. So
yeah.
And we doubled the entries, right, from 21 to 22. Let's double it from 22 to 23.
Just about, yeah.
Let's get it done. You guys want to do the movie awards?
Let's do it.
You want to name the best actor, and then all three of us just give one, or what?
Yeah. We'll do it like kind of that way. So.
All right, let me get an envelope and everything, and we'll do a whole thing of it. All right,
drum roll, please.
Yeah. So, best actor, I'll lead off, and it's gonna be Dakota Beavers from Prey. Like I said in my mini review, he's first-time actor, and he fucking knocked it out of the park, dude. I loved his character, and he was fantastic in it. So that's my best actor, Dakota Beavers Prey.
Nice. You gonna meme at Frightmare?
Hell yeah, I'm gonna meme Frightmare. To be legit.
Nice. All right, my best actor of 2022. I'm going to give it to Ralph Fiennes from The Menu. He really carries that movie as his performance as the chef. I mean, fantastic. And Ralph Fiennes, I mean, just an amazing actor in general. He's been fucking like everything. Yes, indeed. But yeah, he's great in that. I think he overshadows Anya Taylor-Joy in that movie, which is not an easy thing to do. But if anyone can do it, Ralph Fiennes can do it. So there you go.
Awesome. I have a 2-way tie in this category, and the reason for it is I think they played off each other so well that I have a hard time giving it to one, not the other. And that is Morten Burian and Fedja Van Hewitt, Bjorn and Patrick from Speak No Evil. I don't think that movie works if those two don't play their roles in the way that they did. I mean, one of them was the perfect nice guy to villain, and the other one was the perfect, like, kind of nice guy taking it and being kind of taken aback by it. Fucking fantastic. Need to watch that movie if you're, hate yourself and want to feel pain. So great performances.
All right. Best actress for me is going to be Daisy Edgar Jones from Fresh. I think she's gorgeous and she's a great actress, and she plays that like vulnerable and switches from being vulnerable to let's fucking get out of this mess very finally. So I think she's great, and she's great in this movie. So Daisy Edgar-Jones on Fresh, with close runner-up being Amber Midthunder from Prey. She's phenomenal, just like Dakota Beavers was.
Well, I'm gonna change mine up because I feel like me and Steve might have the same best actress. So I'm gonna pivot here, and I'm gonna give my best actress to Mia Goth for X and Pearl. I mean, she fucking played 3 roles this year, and she was great in all of them. So yeah, Mia Goth, Pearl, X.
And who do you think I have?
I think you have Rebecca Hall for Resurrection. She was my number 2.
She is my runner-up, but
Okay.
very late in the year, someone changed that, and my award for Best Actress is Alva Brinsmo Randstad from The Innocents. So she plays someone with very heavy autism, and she plays it so realistically that I actually had to look her up because I was curious if they had just given someone that was autistic the role, or if it was somebody playing an autistic person. And in fact, she does not have autism as far as I can find in my research. She just plays that role so well, not overdoing it, but making it really realistic. And I really felt for that character throughout that movie. And she was just fucking fantastic. But yeah, definitely Rebecca Hall was my runner-up. She's so good. Like, she is fucking one to watch. She's fantastic in Resurrection. Good movie too, just wasn't a top 10 for me, but great performance.
Resurrection and The Night House just, killed in both those movies.
All right, best scare in a year that I don't think was that scary. It goes to one of Steve's top 10, and it's the Jesus scare, where we're walking up to a gentleman in the corner of a room or something, and his fucking hair, he's looking at you. They expose the hair, and his fucking face is looking at you. Best scare of the year in the movie, I don't remember the name.
Exorcism of God.
There you go, Exorcism of God. I titled it here in my notes, the Jesus scare hair backwards scene. So there you go.
That was a good one for sure. All right, I'm going to give it to the Barbarian, the first reveal. And it's just the whole tension of that scene with her going down when Bill Skarsgård is screaming for her. I mean, that scene was so fucking tension filled. And then just when that fucking thing comes running, at Skarsgård from behind, it was scary. Like, my heart was definitely racing a little bit there. So it was a great, really effective scene.
I think Exorcism of God was the scariest movie I saw this year, but you're right, Todd. It wasn't necessarily a scary year. But even though the scare itself was kind of ruined for me because I saw it 100 times in the fucking trailer all year round, I still think it's the best scare that happened this year, and that is the upside down scare in Smile, when the girl comes up to the car and then her head pivots upside down. I think that's a super fucking effective scare. They fucking ruined it by putting in the trailer. They really should not have done that because I thought that was the best scene in that movie, and it would have been amazing had I not known that was coming. So I'm still giving it my best scare of the year, but shame on you people for putting in the fucking trailer.
Yeah, stop blowing your load in the trailer.
Yeah.
All right, biggest surprise for me is going to be Barbarian. Came out of left field, man, and just hit. So Barbarian's my biggest surprise. Ended up in my top 10. Most people's top 10s. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Hellraiser. I think it's the best Hellraiser that's come out since part 2. I don't think many people were expecting it to be good, and I think this one was actually really good. Maybe not perfect, maybe not amazing, but a really solid Hellraiser adaptation.
And my biggest surprise was Prey. Disney taking over the Predator franchise. I quite honestly did not expect them to do so well, and they did a fantastic job, and it actually makes me excited for all of their properties that they purchased from Fox. It was just a great movie, and I hope these horror franchises take a page of this book and do that with the characters. Just put those characters in completely new settings so it's a new movie and not trying to rehash old shit, which is what they're all doing essentially. So biggest surprise easily for me was Prey.
Yeah, I had that on there for the longest time, and I switched it to Barbarian, but mirror everything. Most memorable moment for me is going to be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre backwards leg break. I've always had like a soft spot. It's one of those things, stomach stuff, like in the House on Haunted Hill opening scene where the inmates are operating on people that are alive. Stuff like that, and then backward legs breaks are two of the things that always make my fucking skin crawl, and it hit perfectly in this movie. That's the backwards leg break in TCM.
I have a tie. for two very memorable scenes. Number one being Gordy, obviously the Gordy scenes in Nope, and also the end sequence of Men. And I'll just leave it at that. If you've seen Men, you will know. But that's just, to me, like, we'll never forget that.
My most memorable moment, Todd mentioned it before, and that is Zombie Jesus in Exorcism of God. I did not think they'd have the balls to do it, to be honest with you. I never thought I would see this. It was fucking amazing, scary, fucking freaky, and I applaud them for taking that risk and putting into that movie. So I'll never forget it. And that's probably what made that movie so high for me, a big part of it. So Zombie Jesus and Exorcism of God.
I realized that I skipped Best Kill. So we'll go back to that real quick. Best kill for me is gonna be in the sadness. That diner scene where everything starts fucking going apeshit crazy is phenomenal. My runner-up is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre bus rampage, which is great too. But sadness delivered on the grossness, the blood. Fuck, man.
Yeah, and for me, delivering on the grossness and the blood is the bedroom scene in Terrifier 2. Also, probably one of the most memorable moments of the year as well. Absolutely. Just absolute disgusting, sickening, shocking, and fantastic all at the same time.
All three of those are great, but I'm with Joe on this one. The fucking bedroom kill in Terrifier 2 was unforgettable. Absolutely fucking crazy madness. I can't believe Damien Leone topped the kill in the first Terrifier. And holy fuck, I can't even wait to see what he does in part 3, because he has to, right? It's like a thing now. You have to do the thing. So let's see what he got.
It's crazy too that it was in theaters, and some people that aren't horror fans watched that.
and
loved it.
Academy Award like people who had to like look for the nominations, which is great.
That's so funny. Obscure recommendation. I'm going with Men. I don't think it's a great film. Nowhere near the top 10. But like Joe mentioned, that whole final 10-minute or so sequence, it's just wild, man. It's insane. I don't even know what happened to this day. It's just like you try to process it, and it's just impossible. So leave it at that. Men, obscure recommendation, because I don't think a lot of people watched it.
Yeah. All right. So I got two. I'm gonna cheat here. The first one I'm gonna give is Resurrection, which me and Steve have talked about earlier, just based on Rebecca Hall's performance alone. I'm also gonna give one to an interview we did this year, and that is Slapface. We interviewed a couple of the actors from it, and not like anything ultra amazing, but a really solid horror movie, and I think one that a lot of people would enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. Exorcism of God was definitely one of them for me. But what I ultimately went with is Valley of the Dead. It's a really cool movie, and I haven't heard a single person talk about it ever. Not on social media, not in the groups I'm in. No one talks about this movie. And it's on Netflix. A lot of people have that service. I don't know. I guess it just went completely under the radar. And I hope some people check it out based off this episode and when I talked about it on my What Watch, on whatever episode I did that. So Valley of the Dead, go check it out.
All right, getting down to the final ones here. Best pod episode for me would be our top 80s. I love doing our top 10s. Whatever decade we do, plus the end of the year, always my two favorite episodes of the year. And 80s is one of the best for horror. So yeah, best pod ep for me this year was 80s.
Yeah, agreed. I think we're probably all going to be in agreement on this. The best of episodes are always my favorite. They're just so fun. The master list, I love seeing everyone's lists and whatnot. It's super fun. So because of that, I did come up with a second one as well. And I picked The Phantom of the Opera because I think we stepped out of our comfort zone on that one. We had never done a Universal monster or even a movie that old before, and a silent film to boot. And I thought it was like a really, really cool, really fun discussion and whatnot. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of did the same thing as Joe. I mean, top of the 80s, obviously. I mean, we love doing those decade episodes, so that's always going to be kind of the number one. So I also picked another one, and it was actually the episode right before the top of the 80s. And sorry, Joe, you're actually not even on that episode, but it's the Dawn of the Dead remake episode that Todd and I did. It's fun when we riff on a movie like Halloween Ends and we got all angry and we talk about all the points and stuff like that we didn't like, we liked, all that stuff. But to me, it's even more fun when we're both such fucking geeks for a movie that we're totally geeking out and talking about all the stuff we loved and laughing about some of the crazy references that maybe a lot of people wouldn't even get, but we're such big Dawn of the Dead fans that I had a fucking blast doing that episode with Todd. So the Dawn of the Dead episode 239 was my favorite non-Top of the 80s episode.
It's an excellent point. And I think we did a scene by scene review too for it.
Yeah, without even like realizing.
Unintentionally.
We unintentionally we did a scene by
Yeah.
scene like breakdown, and fuck, it was so much fun.
Yeah, and Steve and I's plan for when Joe has to work late or something and he can't be on the show is to cover like a Romero film or something. So maybe it's Day of the Dead next, Land of the Dead. We'll see. But bringing us to our best interview, and this might be unanimous if we went the same way with it. It's Omri Katz in person on a theater stage after just showing Hocus Pocus. That was so much fun, so amazing. That's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, that I wasn't even thinking of that, honestly, but that is absolutely the best. But I also had Omri Katz regular interview as well that we did, that me and Steve did as well. But yeah, I mean, you really can't top the interview we did with him in person, non-Omri wise. My other one, I guess I'm going to go Kate Bosworth. She was an absolute delight, and I really loved that interview with her.
Yeah, Omri, obviously, fucking amazing. That was great. The best interview that I wasn't on was Kate Bosworth. I really enjoyed listening to that one. She seemed really cool. But for the ones that we're on, it's like a two-way tie for different reasons. And because one of them, we only got like a quick 15 minutes, whereas the other one we actually got to talk to like in depth. And that's Lauren Lavera from Terrifier 2. We only got 15 minutes with her, but she sold me in those 15 minutes. She is a legit horror fan. She loves fucking, being in the genre. She loves Terrifier 2, and her energy just came out of the screen. It was fucking amazing talking to her, and I really wish we had more time than, our allotted 15 minutes. But other than that, it was the only interview in years that all three of us were on, and that was the one that we did last week with David Steinman, who directed Santa's Slay. Just because it's such a random person to get on, all three of us were there, and he was such a really good guy, great stories, and really giving with the information, and I just really loved it. And you could tell that he loved the movie, so that was fucking awesome. So I would say that one as well.
Yeah, he would be cool to have back again. Just tell us more stories. Which brings us to our last one, our 2023 most anticipated film. This one was a little bit hard for me. I didn't see a lot that was poking out. When do you guys take it?
All right, well, I'll do one for both of us, Todd, because I know you're going to be anticipating this one as well.
I got one, but I struggle.
Evil Dead Rise.
That's my one. There you go.
Yep. I mean, that is obviously, I think, a lot of people's very anticipated. I am anticipating The Exorcist, whether it be good or bad. I'm anticipating it one way or the other. Also, Insidious 5. I love the Insidious franchise. Patrick Wilson is going to be directing this one, so it's in good hands with him. And I'm really excited. I believe it's going to be Dalton, all grown up on this one too, and I believe the actor did come back to play Dalton again, so that's going to be really cool. Also Saw 10. Tobin Bell's coming back, Shawnee Smith's coming back. Really excited to see where that one goes. And then my last one, Maxine, our third movie in, of course, this Ty West new universe he has created. Let's see how it goes.
I put two on my list. One that I'm not convinced is actually going to come out this year, but that's the next Ghostbusters film. It's supposed to come out in November. I'm not super convinced about it. They haven't even started filming yet. But if it does come out, I mean, I'm a gigantic Ghostbusters fan, so obviously that'll be my number one most anticipated. And my other one, I'm going on left field with this one. I think this will be the sleeper hit of 2023, one that people will not see coming, I hope, and that's Cocaine Bear. This movie just looks fucking crazy. It's just about a fucking grizzly bear that snorts cocaine and then goes on a killing rampage. So that's right down my wheelhouse, and I hope it's as fun as I'm anticipating. So guess we'll see. Between that, Winnie the Pooh and all that stuff, I think we can have some cool left field kind of movies. But Cocaine Bear is the one that's on my radar right now.
Cool. That's it.
All right. So you want to get to some of the questions we got from our listeners?
Oh, forgot we had questions. Yeah.
Yes.
Before we go into the questions, we do have a special message from our boy Chuck. It's an audio message. No question in it, just a little message. So I'll play that now. So Chuck, what is your message?
What's up, Horror Squad? Chuck here. No questions. I'm dealing with a lot of stuff at my place, so no questions today, but I just want to say congratulations on the year, and I look forward to the episode, and just want to send some love out to the Discord and to the squad itself for being there for me while I am going through some horrible situation. Yeah, just wanted to tell y'all, love you, mean it, and look forward to the episode. Thanks, guys.
So thank you, Chuck, for that. I mean, you're awesome, and we hope that everything, goes well with your situation. So we're definitely thanking you right now. Going into our Discord, we have a few questions there. First one is from Cody, Oddjob versus 007. Predictions for 2023. What do you guys think we'll see more quality or just more? So we're going to see more quality films in 2023 or just more films?
Why not both? Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. Hopefully, more quality. I thought this year was good though. I thought we got a lot of quality films this year. I after going back and doing my list, I do agree. I don't think this was an amazing year for horror. I think it was a very good year for horror, but I don't think there were a lot of absolute knock it out of the park standouts. So I would like more of those for next year.
I agree. I think with the success of smaller films like Barbarian, Deadstream, Terrifier 2, I think studios and money givers will give a little bit more leeway to some filmmakers and let them do their thing. I thought it was a little weaker year personally, but still, not close to being the worst or anything like that. I just didn't think it was as good as last year.
Having done 111 films, I could say that this year was stronger in the sense that I had way more 7 and 8s than 2, 3s, and 4s like I did last year. So I think there was a lot more quality films this year, but there weren't like some big standouts. I had a struggle kind of picking a number one because there's nothing where I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. That's going to be number one. So it was disappointing in that regard that there weren't these mega hits, and a lot of the movies I was looking forward to disappointed. So that was a bummer too. But still a great year. As far as my predictions, it's tough to say, but there's good films like you said, Joe. Insidious, Saw, Evil Dead. Those aren't like the big players in the game, but they're ones that I personally super love. So I think it's going to be an exciting year, and I'm looking forward to it. So he's also asking, what are we most excited to see next year? But we've talked about that, and honestly, I can't even name that many other films outside of the ones we talked about. I don't know about you, Joe, but
I can name one more. M. Night Shyamalan's new movie that's going to be coming out, which I believe is called Don't Knock at the Cabin or something. It's coming out, I think, in February or March.
Stupid title. For the book title is really good. Cabin at the End of the World. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know a lot about it. I haven't watched the trailer or anything for it yet, but I'm excited for it. I think I liked Old. I thought Old was solid, and I'm excited to see what his follow-up to that is. Also, Megan. I'm super excited for Megan. I saw the trailer when we went and saw Menu, and it excited me like even more. I think it looks super fun. It has potential to be like a really good time if they do it right. This could be the new Chucky franchise. It really could if done right.
See, it's funny. I'm going in thinking it's going to be this year's like paint by numbers horror we've seen before. Over marketed, underperforming movie, but that's just my opinion. I hope I'm wrong, right? Always.
Yeah, that looks like a contender for the worst based on that trailer for me. We'll see though.
So Cody's last question, who stood out this year acting and directing that you hope to see more of next? So not just best performances, but just people who stood out to you this year that you're hoping to see more movies for in 2023, both directing and acting.
Deadstream guy, man. I forget his name. Deadstream guy though. His VHS is great. Deadstream is awesome. And then acting wise, nothing's really popping out right this second.
Mia Goth, she's got another horror movie coming out with it's Cronenberg's. Brandon Cronenberg's got a new one coming out, and she's going to be in it. So that could be very, very good. As far as directors, I would actually agree. I did not. I'm in the minority, obviously on Deadstream. I didn't think it was bad, but I didn't love it either. But I am excited to see what this guy does after watching the VHS segment as well. And Ty West, he's obviously doing a resurgence of horror, so everything he's got coming out, I'll be excited to check out.
Yeah, acting wise, I'm really loving what Jenna Ortega is putting out these days. I think she's a great actress, and I look forward to seeing what she can do. I hope Rebecca Hall's in something else next year, because she is just an amazing actress. The way she conveys emotion is really on another level, in my opinion. And I hope we see like Dakota Beavers and stuff like that. People, unfortunately, that are Indigenous, they tend to get typecast as like, you're going to be the Indigenous character in every fucking movie going forward. And I really hope that he goes above that and they really see him for the star that he is, because I think he can be a great like star in horror or action or whatever the hell he wants to get into. But I hope he gets the the kind of what he deserves, and he's a fantastic actor. So we'll see about that. So thank you, Cody, for the questions. Next ones are from Weezerface. Rather than best of the year, what were some of your most fun watching experiences of the year? Like any theater watches blow you away, or any home releases make you for the best movie night you remember?
Night. I should have prepared better. Black Phone, Barbarian theater releases with my daughter, super fun, especially Barbarian coming out of nowhere with the titty monster. Smile with her was great. And let's see, I got a couple more here. Don't Go in the House and Microwave Massacre with a couple buddies, TJ and Brent, over on movie night when I was in Kentucky. And spoiler alert, moving back to Kentucky shortly. Movie night with those guys is always a fun blast. So yeah, those are mine.
Yeah, although I didn't love it, Out There Mega Halloween Tape was a lot of fun to watch with the crowd, the fake like commercials, people like it was a hoot watching that. I just wish the last half of the movie was a little better, but it was still a really fun theater watch. Probably my, as far as like fun theater watches, that's definitely the one that probably sticks out.
Yeah, there's nothing better than watching horror movies with a group. And cheap plug alert, as of January for our movie club in our Discord, we will be doing the movie reviews, but we're going to watch them together on the stream and then discuss it, as opposed to just watching it before and discussing it. I figured out how to do it, and that's the way we're going to go forward. So if you want to get in on that, just send us a message, or we'll send you in a Discord, absolutely free. And movies, I think that would be fun to do that with. Deadstream, I think, was a perfect example of a fun movie that would be cool to watch with others. Day Shift, it's a pretty mainstream movie that came out on Netflix. I thought that was a fun one that you can watch and kind of riff off with other people. VHS 99 was a fun one. There's a lot of like little ones. My Best Friend's Exorcism is another one. So there's definitely some movies that are like kind of meant to be watched with other people, I think. And I think those are the ones that stand out to me. They're not necessarily the best films this year, but they are super cool and memorable watches for me. The last one's from Jackie. What was your most anticipated of the year, and how did it measure up to your expectations?
Oh, I don't remember my last year's most anticipated.
I don't either, but I mean, Halloween Ends obviously extremely disappointing. Definitely one of my most anticipated, and yeah, awful.
I have it in my notes, my spreadsheet from last year. So my 2022 most anticipated was going to be Terrifier 2 or Scream. Scream obviously sucked butthole, but Terrifier 2 was awesome. So I guess 50-50.
Yeah, and mine were probably Pray for the Devil, like I said before, and then Halloween, which, although I probably had lower expectations for Halloween because I didn't like Kills either. So that's, at least there's that. But Scream was really a disappointment. So that was probably one of them as well. So yeah, for me, not a good year for my predictions and my most anticipated.
Yeah, an interesting thing too, going back to our master list, is Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Scream. Not one of them makes the top 10. You know what I mean? And
sad.
And Terrifier 2 is our number 2. So, it's like one new franchise is doing something right. Prey is another movie that made the top 10, the resurgence of Predator, hopefully, in the franchise. So Halloween Ends made one list, I mean,
my
one
wife.
list out of 20. Yeah. Out of the 29 master lists, only one person thought Halloween Ends was worthy of a top 10 spot. Scream was on the most as far as major franchise movies with 5. But Texas Chainsaw Massacre was on 3. So, yeah, I mean, those franchises not doing great right now. Hopefully they right the ship. But, yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting.
Absolutely. And our final question for the year, still from Jackie. Also, what movie did you see with little expectations that blew you away? So we had that category, but are there any other ones that stand out that you think were like, okay, wow, this is way better than I thought it would be?
Smile.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be just, typical, slightly bigger budget. Let's flood the market with trailers kind of movie, but I ended up liking it quite a bit.
I agree. That's a great one. I would agree with that one. Smile as well.
Yeah, for me, other than Prey, I think my biggest other surprises would be VHS 99. The last VHS with 94 was not great, and VHS 99 I think righted the ship mostly. So that was actually a really surprising watch. Beast I thought was a ton of fun. So one that doesn't get talked a lot about, but did get a major release. I think I went in with small, like, low expectations and enjoyed that one as well. So I think those two kind of stand out. And The Killing Tree, I'm just going to give it a shout out. Might as well. The Killing Tree is a very, very low budget film on Tubi where a killer Christmas tree goes and kills people that, for whatever reason. So it was decent for a very, very, very low budget.
Nice. Yeah, I just remember too. I was looking at the master list, Hellraiser 2 this year. So you had fucking Hellraiser, Scream, Halloween, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I thought, you would think at least one of those maybe would have made the top 10, but nada, ladies and gentlemen.
Pathetic.
I will say Hellraiser did the best as far as the amount of lists it was on. It was on 6. 6 out of the 6 of the master lists.
People want new shit. They're tired of people rehashing the old shit over and over. Yeah, it's.
No, yeah. I mean, look at X original. I mean, sort of. I mean, it was basically a Texas Chainsaw Massacre rehash in a lot of ways, but it still wasn't a sequel. It was a new, fresh original movie. So, mainly a lot of originals. X, Barbarian, Nope, Black Phone, Fresh. Yeah, not many. Honestly, the only Terrifier 2 and Prey, really the only sequel or franchise movies out there. Everything else was original. So
yeah, no, exactly, and that's good. I think that's people always bitch that there's too many remakes and sequels, but in horror, obviously, that's not necessarily the case. There's a lot of original shit coming out all the time. And with the amount of movies we watch, and we watch a lot of them, all of us, it's crazy that we can still get surprised by stuff and see new stuff all the time. And I love when, we talked about it with Sadness for me, Exorcism of God, seeing things that blow my mind that I'm like, wow, I never thought I'd see that. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. So what's the better movie so far of the decade? 2021's Malignant or 2022's X?
Oh, X.
Based on the master
X,
list. Based on our master list number ones.
X for me too. I think it's better than Malignant.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to go back to my nut top of last year to see what it was. No, Afterlife is still my favorite of the decade. So.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I forget.
Ghostbusters. Just for fun, I want to run down the top 10 master list from 2021 just to see what do you guys think of it now? A full 2 years, almost 2 years removed. All right, really quickly. Number 10, The Night House. Number 9, Last Night in Soho. Number 8, Blood Red Sky. Number 7, Halloween Kills. Number 6, A Quiet Place 2. Number 5, Psycho Goreman. Number 4, Vicious Fun. Number 3, Ghostbusters. Number 2, Candyman. Number 1, Malignant. I would say this was the better year. I would say this is a much better year.
You saying that? Yeah, absolutely. Candyman, Psycho Goreman.
Psycho Goreman number 5.
Kills. Come on. Yeah. No.
Yeah, although I did see Last Night in Soho after we did that episode, and it definitely made my top 10.
Movie.
Yeah,
very good movie.
Honestly, yeah. Looking at that,
Night House too. Night House is really legit.
Yeah, I would say I would put Night House and Last Night in Soho as 1 and 2, probably. Honestly, looking back now, I mean, Malignant's fun, but
it's so I keep my need to watch, from the previous year, and I actually went through most of them this year. So it's interesting that all the stuff I missed, it would have probably been a different list, had I actually seen a lot of this stuff. So yeah, I don't have that many 2022 that I'm I haven't watched, so it's gonna be quick this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't get many. I do want to get to Mad God, which didn't make many lists anyway, but it was high on the people that did watch it, that did make the list. It got a first place vote and a third place vote.
What were the first place votes? You said there were 15 of them.
I didn't write them all down, honestly. I probably should have, but Mad God got one. Obviously X, Pearl, Terrifier 2, The Black Phone got one. The Menu got one. Nope, obviously. Smile received one. The Innocents received one. Sissy received one. The Sadness, Hatching. I think that might have been all of them. I don't know how many I just ran off. Oh, The Cursed. The Cursed also got a first place vote. That's all the one I'm seeing right at this moment. Yeah, but interestingly, like everyone's lists are different. We obviously only go with the full length movies, but there were a lot of love for the Cabinet of Curiosity. 1 hour movies. There was like 3 or 4 of those different movies that made people's lists. There were some short horror films that made people's lists. So it's always cool to see kind of those as well. I kind of negate those because they never make. I still write them down, but I know they're not going to make many people's lists. But yeah, as far as movies I'd never heard of before, Let the Wrong One In. That one never.
Let the Wrong One In.
Let the Wrong One In. That made someone's list. I don't know.
Weird.
Not familiar with it. Never heard of it. I don't know if it's a parody movie or something. It kind of, but that made also a movie called Crabs, which I never heard of before.
It's just like a personal thing that they got on the list. I don't know.
I'd have no idea.
Crabs. Get it?
I
think those are both from my friends. I think
so.
They go to the festivals and shit.
Let the Wrong One In. Like 4 people reviewed it. They all gave it 4 stars. So on my watch list it goes.
Is it a comedy though, or like horror comedy, or is it like an actual horror movie?
Yeah, horror comedy according to
horror comedy.
Letterboxd. Okay.
You have to look up Crabs too and see what that one's about. Slash Back. I never heard of that one. That's another one I hadn't not heard of. Let's see if there's any others on here. The Harbinger. That's another one that made a list I'd never heard of. Only made one list, Orphan First Kill. I never ended up watching that.
Me neither.
Movie.
I have it
didn't hear much about it.
I have it on a service, but I just never went to it. So.
Another one I never heard of, Matriarch. Not familiar with that one. Sky Sharks was number 3 on someone's list. Sounds interesting.
What the fuck is that? Sounds like a sci-fi picture original.
Color me intrigued. Crabs looks pretty fun
Steve
too.
Lit up when he heard Sky Shark.
Yeah. I'm like went right to my Letterboxd.
Like,
Tubi.
Also, Dark Glasses, Dario Argento's movie.
I didn't love that one.
A list. Here's one. I love the title of this one, but I've never heard of it. Dawn Breaks Behind the Eyes. Sounds intriguing enough. So that's one I put on my list of something I potentially might need to check out.
Who the fuck put Sky Sharks? Here's why. It's on Tubi. So Steve, go ahead. And it's a 1.7 on Letterboxd.
Yeah, but it's funny. But the 2 people that I have on my Letterboxd, 4 and 4.5.
Jeez.
So.
Wow. For Sky Sharks?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, there you go. There's some recommendations for you right there, folks. Steve, one of Steve's favorites, Bloody Oranges, one he thought very highly of, did make someone's list. Day Shift made a list. That's one we reviewed not too long ago with Jamie Foxx. That one was all right. My Best Friend's Exorcism got some love on it, made a few lists. Here's one I've never heard of, Unhuman.
Yeah, that was on my list. It's a Paramount Plus exclusive, and it looked really good, but I dropped Paramount Plus before watching it. I kind of regretted it, but they doubled their price. I'm like, fuck them.
Feed Me was number 2 on someone's list. Pretty high. Never heard of that one either.
I heard of it. Apparently it's pretty crazy.
Anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, there's some ones I definitely will be checking out that I've never heard of. That's why these master lists are always great. Someone gave U-Log a very high rating, which
you love that, didn't you?
I absolutely despised it. But I also am not I don't think I'm the right crowd for that one either. I'm not much of an Adult Swim watcher, so I think there was a lot of inside jokes that were lost on me on that one. But yeah, Watcher had a very good showing. Just didn't make the honorable mentions, but I recommend that one as well. That one was pretty. Yeah,
speaking of Watcher, I've seen a lot of Maika Monroe this year for some reason, and she's another one to watch.
She was great in it. Yeah,
she was good in Significant Other as well. Not a great movie, but she was really good in it.
Definitely. And then for those Cronenberg fans, Crimes of the Future just missed out on, I think it was 16, on the honorable mention. So just missed out on getting that honorable mention. But yeah, got as high as a number 2, a second place vote on someone's list. So yeah, there you have it, folks.
Cool. I got more for my list for 2022. I'll watch them at some point next year. So that's awesome. So I love recommendations. Send them to us, and that's it. That was fun.
Yeah, fun.
Another year done. Another new spreadsheet begins.
Yes. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to-
definitely.
I have to create another tab on my
Yep.
Google Sheet here,
Yes.
2023.
Absolutely. So what will
most importantly, I did win in trivia again. Just throwing that back out there.
That's great. So folks, what will
love it.
2023 hold? Well, just keep listening to us. Thank you so much, everyone that listened to us in 2022. It was a great year for us. Just an amazing year. I mean, with our, our Omri Cats event and all of the new listeners we acquired through that and everything. We really appreciate all of you that stuck with us from the beginning and our new listeners that have come along. We hope you continue with us on this journey into 2023. Next week, we are going to be Toddless, but me and Steve will be here. We are going to be doing a winter-themed horror movie as we now head into the deep winter months here. So go over to our Discord. You can vote for one, and me and Steve will be voting on one based on the Discord. Join our Discord. Obviously, all you gotta do is just send us a DM through any of our socials, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the Horror Squad Podcast, and you can join in on our Discord that way. You can also send us an email, the Horror Squad Podcast @gmail.com. And I think that's it. So thank you so much, everyone. Once again, 2022 officially in the books. We'll see you next year.
Bye.
Bye.
See ya.